Okay, we've just finished the full 3-inch exhaust on this Ford Everest. Now, we just finished Dyno also. Let's take a look how much we got. Now, this actually is a bit surprising because on previous 3.2s that we did, the gain wasn't that much. And for this particular 3.2, it's very surprising. This is what the stock power is. It starts from 70, goes all the way up to 180, then falls down. After the exhaust, at the same RPM, it's now 150 horses, a much flatter horsepower curve. Peak to peak ain't that much. It's up by about 9 horses here on top. But as it crosses 2 RPM, power drops a little bit. Now, we can explain why. By looking at the boost. This is stock boost. Maximum for only about 16 psi. 16, 17 psi drops off. By making the exhaust bigger, the stock computer is able to manage to raise the boost pretty high from the get-go, from 11 all the way up to about 20, goes all the way here, keeps increasing all the way up to red line. So on this part, there's still enough fuel, but once you cross 3.2, as you can see with the air-fuel ratio here, there is no change in fuel. So that means at this part here, there's not enough fuel anymore, which results in the power loss. There's more air going in without the additional fuel, no power to be made. So now we're done doing the reflash of a modified file. We'll do another dyno and see how far we get. Okay, we're done with the reflash, and then this is what we got. We got about 230 horses here at peak, and another 50 to about 70 horses here. Now, for those of you wondering why this looks relatively weirder than this one of the things that we find out, aside from horsepower and torque when you put the car in a dyno, is if the transmission is slipping or not. And from the looks of it, this particular Everest needs at least transmission oil change already to get down the power, because this wiggly line here means transmission slippage. Cannot handle the amount of power that we're throwing on it. Will this be detriment to the life of the car? No. This just tells us that it's time to change your transmission fluid. Will it be jittery like this or nanginginig sa kalsada? Also no, because the way that the dyno does it, it applies load to each of the individual wheel. But once it's on the road, all 4 wheels are all rolling out at the same time. So no cause for concern. We just have to tell the owner that this one here, palitin na yung transmission fluid mo, and most likely the transmission filter as well. So that's another maintenance thing that most people tend to neglect, and we just found out that it's already needed. Okay, we'll take the Ranger out for a test drive and see. That's actually pretty fast, not putting any effort on the pedal, maybe only about 12-15%. One of the things that we tune, aside from obviously power and torque with a reflash, is the throttle response. And almost all cars now have an electronic throttle that is notorious for delay, which people often mistake it as turbo delay. There's no such thing anymore, especially with these modern turbo diesels. Dog. Now we're doing 100. This is pretty effortless actually. We're not even flooring at 50%. we're filming this inside the car. Most people think if you put an exhaust, it's gonna be stupidly noisy, like what you hear on the really loud wannabe race car Civics. But here, as you can see, I can talk normally. There's not a mic on me. It's not that noisy. So, huwag kang mag-alala, hindi magre-reklamo yung kapitbahay pag umuwi ka ng 3 o'clock ng umaga, because your car is not gonna be that absurdly noisy. It's still pretty quiet. You can still have a conversation. Hindi mo kailangan sumigaw. I would like to do a burnout on this one, but since this thing is a 4x4, it's next to impossible to do a burnout on this car. Plus, it is an automatic. Alright, actually a pretty good drive, pretty smooth. And extra power is definitely welcome. No more delay in the accelerator pedal, and drive normally, we should see about 8 to 10% better mileage.
Bawat, bawin na lang ako. Walang sige. Pwede ka pwede.